Hello, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the CFCTALK podcast. If I'm not wrong, this is probably the 49th to the 50th episode, depending on if I've figured out how to count up till 50. Because if you look at all of our platforms, you'll see a different number on each podcast, and I apologize for that one. But a very special episode, actually. Firstly, let's actually start off with some of the talking points. We're going to be discussing Chelsea and Tottenham, of course, the first half, second half in detail, looking at Chelsea and Sheffield United, which will be for you guys, which will be tomorrow. And then we'll have a few minutes at the end where we look back at 6 months of CFC talk. And if I'm not wrong, and thanks to Alex for this, today is exactly 6 months. So we were sat here 6 months ago. We were talking about, if I can pull up the talking points quickly, we were talking about each other and nervously sitting there with zero chemistry between us. So before I can go ahead with that, welcome back into the podcast, Alex Amart. Great to have you on. How are you guys feeling today, Alex?
Nostalgic. No, I'm feeling really happy it's the 6 month thing really is in my head, and it's like, wow, it's 6 months to the day that we did our first recording, and yeah, we've come on leaps and bounds, and it's really nice to see what we've built, and it's great to be on as usual. Great to be joined by both of you.
Yeah, Amart, your thoughts on just in general and how you're feeling today?
Yeah, definitely feeling great, especially after beating Tottenham at their home again. So at their brand new stadium, we've played there 3 times now, and we beat them twice, which is very we didn't see Mourinho hopping and skipping this time to the dressing room. So
you can tell Amart's entered this podcast with stats and history, and he's excited for this one.
Nah, it's always a pleasure. It's always fun beating Tottenham. Like seeing them melt down on their Twitter page was just fantastic. So yeah, I'm feeling great. And yeah, about the 6 months thing, yeah, like considering the fact that we've not even met each other in person before, I feel like we are doing pretty well. Like we still communicate as if we've known each other for years. But it wasn't like that in the beginning, so I know we'll get there. So when we get there, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Let's dive straight into it. I'll bring the mic back to Mark. Your overall thoughts on the game and just a few comments, and then we'll dive into the detailed ones.
I mean, the game, the first half was fantastic. Like from a Chelsea's point of view, from a Chelsea fan point of view, the first half was fantastic. Like we controlled the game, but the chances is still the issue. We don't really take our chances well. We do everything right, but when we get into the final tail, the final third, and then that's where we have issues. But I think the first half was fantastic. Second half we dropped off a bit. Either probably we dropped off, or Spurs came on much better. It wasn't the same, but I mean the game as a whole, I was happy about it. I was happy about how we were able to control the game even at their home, and they couldn't really threaten us. I think the first half they only had one shot on target. The whole game, I think they had 2 shots on target. So it's always good to see that.
Yeah. Alex, your thoughts?
Yeah, just a huge win, really. I was definitely on edge for most of the second half with, like, yeah, just feeling like, oh, they're going to come back into the game. They're going to come back. Tottenham they didn't really show up until about the 75th minute, where they started to threaten, and Mourinho was kind of urging them on to actually do something. But they just offered, they really didn't offer much. They tried to press Jorginho and Kovacic a little, but it just didn't really work. They had a really fantastic performance, aside from Jorginho's goal, as well as Mount obviously playing as usual as his great self. Alonso we didn't really see any huge defensive frailties from anyone, but I think, positive, of course, it's beating Tottenham. It's a huge result when it comes to the table as well, but negative of losing Thiago Silva for probably a couple of weeks at least. is going to be a little struggle. But it was nice to see Christensen come on and for once actually like looked okay, looked solid-ish when he came on, helped keep the clean sheets, sorry, and yeah, third clean sheet in a row for Mendy now. He's second in the clean sheet table to Ederson, who's on 12. Mendy's on 10. So he's coming for him slowly. But yeah, just overall really positive and it's the fact that we haven't conceded yet and the fact that we looked so dominant against this Tottenham team it's really promising for where we can go for the rest of the season and beyond.
Yeah, I think I'll echo what both of you guys said, but 3 points, 3 clean sheets, and surprisingly only 1 shot on target in the last 3 games. And even though I wouldn't count the shot that Son had yesterday on target because it was barely even troubling, but Tuchel has come in and he's transformed his defense. Like, would we have ever imagined that we would be sitting here after a win against Tottenham and we would have been saying, oh, in our defense there was Christensen, there was Rudiger and Alonso, and we've kept a clean sheet. The only thing that's left is having Kepa in goal and having a clean sheet. And I think that'll be the peak of Tuchel.
Our next in 2 days' time is against Barnsley, 2 games' time. So that's the chance.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't do a proper episode without mentioning Kepa once, so we've done that.
I can't go a minute without Kepa.
So you
We need to get him on as a special guest.
I'm sure he would love to be on.
Yeah,
after all those remarks.
Michelle contact. We'll ask him for you, Michelle, after his time with getting acquainted with him.
I think as long as he doesn't listen to previous episodes, I think he'll be okay.
I doubt.
Asking Kepa, oh, can you come on? Don't look at our previous work, but come on,
ignore
please.
all of our posts, ignore everything. Just come on, have a laugh with us for 30 minutes, and you can go back to saving Chelsea's goal. Back to the performance. Great performance overall from the team, and I think yesterday, and I think we said this before as well. These are type of performances where it's hard to pick them out of the match, and we were just talking about this before the episode. How almost every site or every person had their own opinion and had their own man of the match. Officially, it was Mason Mount. On some websites, it was Alonso. On the server, it was Kovacic. So it was all over the place, I think. So overall, very happy with Tuchel and 7 points in the last 3 games, which is incredible. And then Sheffield up next, but his real test starts in February, so yeah, looking forward to all that. But before we dive into the first half, guys, is this a good example of what we're going to see heading into a very tough February period for Chelsea when we play, I think, Atletico, United, Liverpool, Leeds, Atletico again, Everton in the span of 2 or 3 weeks? Alex, is this a great example, or is this where Chelsea we can still improve as a team, and there's areas where we can still work on?
Yeah, the main thing is we need to get back. We need to be way more clinical. It's clear we're creating chances, but I can't. I saw a tweet yesterday. It was like Spurs players have got aimbot because they keep just blocking everything that Timo is every single shot that the Timo is shooting at the goal. So. We just need to get more clinical, more shots on target, and aim for the corners more. So that's the main weakness, I think, of the team. But it's a good sign. Our performance yesterday is a really good sign of how Tuchel has just like the transformation of Jorginho and Kovacic over pretty much 3 days. Like against Wolves, they were still typical Jorginho and Kovacic, playing side to side and not really being that aggressive. But the past 2 games, he's literally in 3 days, he's turned them into a really fast midfield, or in the mind and fast with the pass midfield. So I'm optimistic. I'm not going to say we'll trash Atletico or whatnot, but I'm I'm looking forward to this February.
It's the last time you said that to Bayern. We ended up
Yeah.
losing our next 3 games.
Yes. But yeah, it's yeah. Oh no, that was bad. But yeah, we've seen what Tuchel could do in the space of. He's turned this team around in terms of confidence. He's made us a really confident team, and who knows? By the time we face Atletico, just as well as him improving players, just his tactical awareness and the fact that he's just a genius. I think in the end of the day at Tuchel, and I think he'll. I don't expect us to have no chance against Atletico. I think we'll give them a good. I hope that we give them a good fight. I'm not sure whether we'll do it or we'll win or not, but it's definitely a good sign for the past couple of games, and I think we've got a lot to look forward to next month for sure. But we need to improve on our finishing.
Yeah, I'll agree on that one. I think we create too many chances at one. I think against Tottenham we had almost 16 chances, and we technically only converted one, which was that was because of a penalty. So I think we could sit here and blame Werner for that, but honestly, I think it was just the team on it as a whole, and we saw that against what was the last game against Burnley as well, where we had so many chances in the first half where we could have been 2 or 3 goals up at halftime. So we still need to be very clinical with our finishing, and we just need to make sure that the chances that we create are not wasted. Because if you're playing against teams from the lower end of the Premier League, you could get away with it. But when you're playing against teams like Atletico, Bayern Munich, you've got to take your chances. You've got to take that one chance that they may give you by accident, and that could change the game, and that could tip the ball tip the win to your favor. But Alex mentioned this partnership in the midfield. Jorginho and Kovacic, 2 players who almost look like we're going to be I'm not going to say thrown out of the club, but probably be sold to other clubs. Maybe not so much Kovacic, but Jorginho looked like he was on his way out with Gilmore coming into the team. But he's rekindled this partnership. How excited are you to see them? And we were talking about this before the podcast as well. There's options of having Kante, Kovacic. There's options of Kante and Jorginho, and then there's Jorginho and Kovacic. Which one are you tipping towards?
I mean, we can't really do away with Kante when it comes to the midfield. Kante is very, very essential in that midfield, and but the thing is the way Jorginho and Kovacic have already um like found their chemistry again, or they are playing at the level that they are playing at. It's very difficult to put Kante in the mix, but I think it's something that Tuchel has to do, because with Kante he offers so much more than just what Jorginho and Kovacic offer, because he literally acts like as a right now we as an extra man at the back in defense, so he's able to protect that defense at the same time going forward. But he's not great going forward, but he does his best when he's in defense, when he's in the defensive midfield role. So for me, in the way we are performing now in the current system against Tuchel, I think I'll go for Jorginho and Kovacic for now, because now it seems like we are controlling the games better, and I think that's the job. That's the main job that Jorginho was brought in for under Sarri. He was brought in to play that register role, to hold up possession and to spread the play and to find decisive passes. So if he's doing that again, I think I don't have any problem with him doing that. And we can't with Kovacic also besting through the middle and finding uh, um, passes in the pockets of defense also helps us a lot. And he's very, very hardworking. Does very well. He wins possessions. Anytime we lose the ball, he's there to win it. And then yesterday, getting to the end, I saw something from Jorginho. I haven't seen that while he was shielding the ball. He was trying to protect possession. He wasn't losing um, possession often as he has done in the past. He seems like a different player, and I think we saw this partnership under Sarri. We saw it also a little bit under Lampard in his first season when Kante was out most of the season. They were the go-to defenders, but I think they didn't really fit well in the system that we played with Lampard this season. They didn't really fit well together. Kante was best in that position in the midfield, but with this, it seems like we are controlling the game more. And with Jorginho, he does very well if you control the game. So if we are able to control the game and we are able to prevent teams from attacking us and pressuring our defense, I think he's the perfect option for that position. So for now, if we are able to control, like I said, keep repeating myself, if we are able to control games, I think Jorginho will be the best.
Yeah, and I think the biggest question a lot of fans had, and everyone had technically, was that whenever we have Jorginho Kovacic play, they do really well against weaker sides of the Premier League. And when it comes to playing the top six or teams which like to play from their midfield centrally, they tend to struggle. But yesterday, I think we saw a great example of that when Tottenham tried to counter with almost passing the ball to Son every time, and then they were really effective in that position. Jorginho helping control play with Kovacic trying to come forward and attack and help Mason Mount, who's another player on the list tonight. But that penalty, Jorginho, the hip. Whoa, I can't speak now.
Hop skip.
That's a tongue that's a tongue twister, isn't it? Hop, skip, jump penalty. Alex, your thoughts on that? We didn't see that yesterday.
Well, we'll be hipping for top four. No, no. Well, yeah, I was actually really surprised that he changed it up, but I was also really surprised that he took it over Timo Werner, considering that Timo Werner is supposed to be the designated penalty taker, and he has taken them in the past.
I think so this is something that I read online. I don't know the how trustworthy this is, but apparently Tuchel said that in a penalty contest, Mount and Jorginho came out on top, and just right before the match, he gave Jorginho the go-ahead. So I think Werner probably wasn't even on the list. Yeah. Mount was the next man after him.
Fair enough, but I guess then that settles that at least. But yeah, I'm really surprised that he's changed his, or I don't know if he has made that permanent change away from the hop, skip, and a jump, but maybe it was just to throw the keeper off once or twice, because he's done it in the past where he's kind of done a conventional penalty run up and scored, but then he's gone back to the hop, skip, and a jump. So I guess it's one way to kind of keep the keeper on edge. But at the end of the day, all that mattered was, I think we're all pretty nervous when he did step up to take it, because we were all expecting him to do a hop, skip, and jump. And he's missed a couple this season, so it's just a little worrying. But to see him go with the conventional one and score, that was the main point. And at the end of the day, it decided the match. So, yeah, it's good that he took a less risky option for once.
Give him a break. I mean, he scored, so exactly. I'll yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't see any goals other than that penalty goal, and I was expecting us to at least try and get a goal from open play. After all, we had almost 13-14, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I think it was kind of disappointing, but Amart, Chelsea playing a lot from the right-hand side, and we've seen Reece James and Kovacic, that kind of partnership that's being built up on that right-hand side has been incredible. And of course, Callum Hudson-Odoi playing in the left wing-back position the last few games, started as a number 10 / kind of a left winger, a right winger role that he had. How effective has that been for Chelsea, and what are you expecting from that going forward against Sheffield and probably the next few games?
Yeah, I think we've been attacking from the right mainly because of the brilliance of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and he's so quick, he's so fast, he's able to beat defenders that he makes the left side like very, very weak, because I don't think they're on the left without Pulisic being on the left. It's they don't have the same output as on the right. And then on the right, putting Reece and Callum there would trouble any defense. So I think that is why we are coming from the right, and it's a good strategy to be to be using. On the left, I don't know. I don't even when Mount gets the ball. Sometimes he goes on the right. He doesn't go on the left because probably he has tried many times with Alonso and Werner, and they don't click as well as Reese and Callum. And it's weird seeing.
Academy, I think academy.
Yeah, probably. But were they in the academy at the same time? I don't think they played at the same time. But yeah, probably like you're saying, they have that link up um there already. And yeah, it was weird seeing Callum shifted because yesterday he was kind of like part of a two in the attack. So it was weird seeing that because he has played as a wing back for a very long time. But it was also very refreshing to see both him and Reese in one game. Because I thought that was something that we would not see this season. We saw Reese and Aspie and Callum all in the same game, and that was very very good to see. Because when Callum was shifted to the right wing back, I was thinking that what happens to Reece James? Will he be on the bench all the time? And because Aspie's also playing, Aspie's better in the three-man defense than Reece James, so I think that tactic also worked a lot. But with the um um how to say it, the end product in our attack. I think that's an issue we have to address. It has been an issue for a very very long time since I think Sarri had it cool because he had Hazard, he had Giroud linking up very very well with Hazard. He had Pedro also doing very well for us. But I think with Lampard coming down from Lampard's first season, we haven't really been um um that aggressive in attack, like in our finishing. Our finishing has always been an issue. Anytime we lose games, it's not that we lose games because we've been bad in the game. It's just that we've not taken our chances, and it happened yesterday too as well. That we could have won that game by 3 or 4 goals. We had so many chances. I think in the second half there were 3 instances where Kovacic, Mount, and I think um Pulisic, they were free and they were running through the midfield, but their final passes, the final end product was missing. There was a chance where Kovacic could have given Werner an early pass. We don't know whether he might score or not, but I think that would have been a better option than him trying to score himself. And there was another chance where Mount found Werner, and Werner couldn't get the ball at the back of the net. And then Pulisic's chance as well. Like it's a repetitive thing. I think that's something that Tuchel has to work on, or he will work on the most, because I think he solved other issues that were in the team, and I think that is our last issue that we need to solve. If we solve that issue, I think we can strike on all fronts.
Yeah, I think so. Just being clinical, basically, up front with all the chances that we created, overall, and I think that covers up most of the first half. Was the substitute? I think the substitution was in the first half. Thiago Silva out for the next few games, it seems. That and the only update that I've seen so far is that it's a thigh injury rather than a hamstring injury. So it means that it will take a lot less time than expected. Amart, how big of a blow is that for Chelsea? And how important is it that Rudiger and Christensen um, pair up and take responsibility? As it seems, I think Zuma's injured as well, and we don't have an expected return date for him.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think we are very, very, very lucky that it wasn't a hamstring injury, because at his age, it would have been very, very difficult for him to recover quickly from a hamstring injury. He would have needed more time to recover. But fortunately, it's a thigh injury, and we'll lose him. I think I read for like 2 to 3 weeks or so. So, which is a big blow, because we have Atletico Madrid in that time. But I don't know. I think I think I said it yesterday on. I tweeted about it yesterday, and I think Christensen and Rudiger, for example, they are very very good defenders, and I think they are even doing better now because there's a new manager. Because both of them weren't really, they were like kind of like out of favor with Lampard. They weren't playing regularly under Lampard, so it's like a clean slate for them. And so far they've been doing very very well, especially when Christensen came in to replace Thiago Silva. It wasn't as good. It wasn't like Thiago Silva, but we still held our line. And the thing about, I think I said it in the last episode. The thing about Tuchel's Chelsea right now is that even when we are 1-0 up, I'm not really worried about us conceding. It seems like the defensive line is so good. The defensive line is so fixed that even when there are chances coming through, you're still confident that they'll do something about it. And I don't think it's a Christensen or Rudiger or a personal thing in that matter. I think that they've been well drilled and they know exactly what they have to do, and they are doing it well because it's a new manager and they want to impress. So yeah, I for them against Atletico Madrid, I'm just hoping that Zuma will be back. And if Zuma is back playing with Rudiger, probably might be more confident in it. But with Christensen, you might never know. He might give you a good performance today, then bad performance tomorrow. And he has little mistakes in his play. But yesterday he did very very well, so I can't really fault him. So we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. Just hopefully, Thiago Silva gets well soon and doesn't keep long out.
Yeah, key defender, key player for Chelsea, and both on and off the pitch. Alex, I don't know if you follow Thiago Silva too much on social media, but how much of an impact does that have on the team? The messages that he puts out on his social media accounts and the support that he shows for the team each week and each match day.
I think, well, not very much, but it's a really, you love to see it. I think is the best way to describe. I think his leadership in person is what commands the respect and presence that he kind of gives off in this team. But you definitely love to see it. I think you can tell that he's a class act on and off the pitch. Especially after that, there was a post where I think Chelsea, or was it PS? It was something about PSG, or no, I can't remember actually. Essentially, he was like, I'll never forget. Even at like this was a week after Lampard had been sacked, and he's just a post summarising that he was really thankful for all the work that Lampard had done. So you can just tell that he's a really class act, and I pray that he is back for the Atletico game because we're going to need him. I can't fathom playing Christensen against Atletico Madrid. Hell, I don't even want to see Christensen start against Sheffield, if I'm honest. I think he did against. I think he started when we had the 3-0 in Project Restart. And yeah, I just don't want to see Christensen really start at all. I'd rather have Zuma. But if Zuma's injured, then our hand is kind of forced. But yeah, Thiago Silva is just an absolute top three in the top three centre backs in the league for sure at the moment. And yeah, his influence on this team is so good. And the fact that we got him on a free, it's a shame because it would have been nice to get him like 8 years ago or something instead of now. But at 36, he still has a huge part to play in this Chelsea team.
Yeah, honestly, I think I was saying this on the live watch along. Shameless plug, but if you don't follow our second channel, make sure you do. But yeah, I think I said this on there as well. I think Thiago Silva deserves a year on his contract, and I think if we're talking on that topic, I've just kind of remembered that Azpilicueta has signed a 1-year deal with Chelsea. Many thought this would be his last season here, with Reece James cementing his place. And now that the fact that Callum Hudson-Odoi has kind of just come into that right wing back role as well, but it seems he's going to be an important part of Chelsea for the rest of the season. Amart, excited to see another season of Azpilicueta?
Yeah, I think I expected it. To be honest, I know that a lot of people were like Reece James would take his place and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely Reece James would take his place, but I don't think we've seen the last of Aspi. Aspi has some immense energy, even though I think he had a hamstring. Yeah, yeah, he had a hamstring injury against Arsenal in the FA Cup, but he still came back very, very early, and that was crazy. He recovered quickly, and he was expected to be out for months, and he came in weeks, and That was just crazy. So I don't think he's a normal player. I think he's a really really special player. And if we can get him, if we can get him playing
He's a
at this,
special one.
yeah, I think if we can get him playing at this level, with this kind of performances day in day out, I think we should have him on as long as he still plays football, even at the age of 40 45. He's still playing football. Let's give him a new 1 year deal.
Mhm. Wait, Mohammed, I just want to ask, where did you hear about him extending his contract?
Oh, please tell me I've not.
I think you've been baited. I'm sorry. This is
No.
Yeah, because I didn't hear it,
he's
but I just took his word for it. So
yeah. I mean, of course he deserved. His contract runs until summer
Am I?
2022.
Okay. Okay. So this
Uh,
is the third time this week, Alex?
oh no. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, to be fair. When people have official looking avies and things, it's really hard to believe what's right and what's wrong. But he deserves it, though. I want him to stay forever and ever, if I'm honest, because he's still good enough to be the deputy to Reece James. So, and we just don't. We're not going to get someone better than him to be a back at right back. So why would you buy? Yeah, I don't see. We don't need an Aspi replacement. We don't need to get rid of Aspi for at least until the end of his contract, unless he has like an Ivanovic style slump in form where he seriously hurts the team, like even when he's a backup, which I hugely doubt and can't even imagine. It's too ridiculous to even consider. But one, I mean, just to change the topic, I don't know, to kind of shift us off of Mohammed's little meh, but um, but
Meh.
his no nightmare, short for nightmare. So after Thiago came off, second half, I mean, especially latter part of the second half, Tottenham definitely came into the game, and then there was that header by I think it was Vinicius, I think, and it was a really good cross,
Yeah, I know
and
that.
yeah,
it came close, and if that went in, that would have definitely changed our. Would have been still a good performance, but yeah, that was really scary, like close.
I don't want to
yeah,
see a draw. I think this is. I didn't want to see a draw.
We deserved the win, if I'm honest. We
yeah.
first half completely outplayed them, and the second
I think I,
not so
I
much.
think that was the issue yesterday. We weren't good in front of goal, and they were also bad in front of goal. So we got away with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they had some three, I think, two clear chances. There was one shot by Lamela at the end, and that Mendy saved, that which was very very good. But there was a chance by Ore in the first half, another header. He headed it wide, and then there was another chance by Vinicius. Is it Vinicius, right?
I think it is Vinicius.
Yeah, Vinicius. He was the one who had the chance in the second half, and then
But I think one player we haven't really talked about much is Mason Mount, who's also a key component in that Chelsea midfield, and he's been so vital for Chelsea under Lampard last season, this season, and now under Tuchel. And we had our speculations where we thought, oh, he wasn't going to play, and academy players are going to struggle. Um, Alex, I think. How would you even describe Mason Mount? Firstly, I think I don't know how to introduce him.
What do you mean no one's talking about Mason Mount? Everyone's talking about Mason Mount.
I said we haven't talked about
I
him
know.
enough. We
Yeah,
haven't talked
yeah,
about him
yeah.
enough this episode. Yeah.
I know. I was just trying to twist your words. Don't worry. But yeah, uh he always puts in at least a 7 out of 10 against in any game he's played this season. He's put at least a 7 out of 10 in, and literally the only gripe I have with him is that is and to be fair, it was more like the whole team's to be fair, but it's in order for him to be considered to be rated by by people outside of Chelsea, who obviously, sorry, I mean fans outside of Chelsea. So a lot of fans I talk to, at least, they don't really rate. They would take Grealish or Foden or yeah, those are the main two. They would rather take those two over Mount because they don't see the goals and assists from Mason Mount yet. But once he gets them, there'll be no going back, and he'll be. I back him to win most England fans at least over and Premier League fans over. But yeah, he just needs to work on that, getting more goals and assists by improving his decision making and quality. Essentially, there was one in the second half where he forced a good save from Lloris with his left foot. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
that was a good save. He
Yeah.
forced a good save from Lloris, but I just think little things like that needs to be a little more in the corner. And there was one in the first half where he got in a good position to cross. He tried to dink it, and it kind of just went into the stands, which is a bit of a shame. But it was the right idea. So it's just little bits of improving the quality of the things he does at like in the opposition box. That's all he needs to do. Everything else about his game is just amazing, if I'm honest. And he's completely won me over this season after I doubted him a lot this last season and started coming into this season. And it's really nice to see that Tuchel rates him as well now. It's quite funny because yeah, I've accused him of being Lampard's son and thinking he wouldn't play as much because of Lampard, but it's just not the case, apparently, clearly. Or to be fair, I mean, I think Tuchel has said that he warrants his spot and he needs to keep working, be on top of things to stay in the starting 11, which is good. But yeah, I think Mason Mount's going to be a crucial Chelsea player for the next 10 years, 15 years. And we just need him to add a couple more goals to his game, and then he'll truly be a world class player.
No, I just wanted to read out a stat that I saw on Scorecard. I think after we played against Burnley, only four players have created 50 plus chances in the Premier League this season, and Mount is one of them. Jack Grealish, Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, and Mason Mount. That shows you how important he is to our team. Because I remember I've seen tweets about people saying that, oh,
Amart stole my stat.
I see. The thing is, the reason why I like this stats is that people usually say that most of his chances he creates come from corners, but you can't tell me that he has taken 50 corners this season.
To be fair, we are quite threatening from corners, and I do think a lot of those do come from, not a lot, a higher ratio than the other four players that you mentioned do create from corners.
Yeah, and then I think
But
a chance is recorded when it leads to um um this he gets this stat because most of his chances leads to goal scoring abilities. Probably the final person doesn't score or something. I think his corners also have been really good because
yeah,
probably because we are lacking Zuma, so we can't score from corners anymore. But when Zuma was playing and scoring from corners, all his corners were from Mason Mount, and that just says a lot. So for me, this guy is a gem. I don't want to see him play for any other team. I want to see him play for Chelsea till he retires because he's a very good player, very quality player. A lot of people don't really see his benefits, but like you said, when he starts scoring goals, adds goals to his games, I think a lot of people will appreciate him more. Sorry, Mohammed, for stealing your stat.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You can have the limelight this time. I'll take. No, I, 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 I need to now cross that out and see what I can link it up with now. But no, honestly, yeah, I think Mount gets a lot of stick for being one of the best Chelsea players right now in the squad, in my opinion. And I think honestly, he's a great young talent from the Chelsea academy, and he's got another. I think Alex said it as well. He's got the next 10 years, 15 years, and if he does stay at Chelsea, which hopefully he does, and performs at that level, he will be an incredible talent at Chelsea, and yeah, could be the next Lampard. Could be better than him. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think yeah, he's a great player. I'm probably just echoing what you guys just said the last 2-3 minutes, but it is what it is. Anything you guys want to add on to the Tottenham review?
um, I guess Timo Werner as well. We haven't. Yeah, he just
Convert your chances, Timo.
Yeah, he took 3 shots, but they just all kept getting blocked, and he was doing some things right, but I think it boils down to this: he is a great. Well, on his day, he's a great. Well, no, he proved last season he's a fantastic finisher, but like little things like his first touch and just he doesn't really do the other parts of the game, or he's not doing it at the moment. That he's not. I don't know. It's hard to say, but he's just as well as being genuinely unlucky. There's just some things that probably show from his lack of confidence, such as his first touch being a little off and not wanting to dribble through players. Like there was the Southampton goal that Tammy scored, where Timo pretty much ran like half of the pitch and dribbled through players, and then squared it to Tammy, who scored. There's just not. We don't really see that kind of side of him at the moment, and I'm worried because he was brought in to score goals, and it's like when you see the Haaland rumors, it's like I wouldn't mind him, but maybe that's a bit of a side note. But it's something for our transfer window video in the summer. But I don't know about you guys if you take Haaland to displace even Timo Werner, but I am starting to lean, not to say that Timo Werner is a bad player, or even because you can see that his impact in the game, his pace, even when he's not scoring, he's doing other things right. But I think we do. Maybe it's a way of improving our finishing ability in general, is to get probably one of the greatest finishers in world football at the moment into Chelsea in Erling Haaland. I don't know about you guys on that, and maybe that's
Yeah.
more of a side note, but
No, I think I agree with you. But one thing, it's unfortunate. The thing is that it's unfortunate that he's not scoring, because one thing I like about his performances, not the fact that he's not scoring definitely isn't a good sign. But one thing I like about his performances is that one, he's able to get in good positions, because most of the times he receives the passes. He receives passes in good positions, but sometimes the final product is where he's lacking. And then two, he also creates chances as well. You also said he was on the left side a lot, linking up with Alonso and trying to get balls into the box. But the issue is, you are trying to get the ball into the box, and you are the one supposed to be inside the box. So then there's nobody there to uh, um, get to the end
yeah.
of them, and that's where the issue is. So for me, I think the fact that he's still finding good positions to be in. For me, I think when he starts scoring, I think it will just be fantastic to watch. But with Haaland, for me, if the two of them, one thing I'll say Haaland has over him is kind of like physicality, because with Haaland, I think Haaland is capable of bullying defenders. He can hold the ball for longer periods, even in the penalty box, and still take a shot. But with and he has speed as well. But with Timo, I think with Timo, what is going for Timo is speed. He's very fast. He's not able to dribble defenders that much. I think he did that. He did that a lot, when he was at Leipzig, but here I've not really seen it. But I think his pace is still there, and he has that going for him. So for him, he's very very pacey. Haaland is also pacey, but I think Haaland bullies defenders better than Werner. I'm just afraid that more and more defenders are losing they are losing their fear in Werner. They are not really afraid of him anymore, because the way sometimes they take him on, even when he's running. And I think that is even part of the reason why he's losing confidence. The defenders aren't afraid of him anymore, and it's showing. There's some chances you see, especially against Tottenham. There were some chances that I was expecting him to run with Dyer, but he would run and then stop and then pass it backwards, or run and stop and pass it to Hudson-Odoi or Alonso, and it was just it was annoying me sometimes, because we know what he's capable of doing, but I think it will take time, but eventually he'll come good. He signed for 4 years, so we still have more to get from him. So we'll see.
One last thing to add on to that before Mohammed, you come over. It's just that like it looks like Hudson-Odoi was kind of, and Werner were both playing up top. I don't know if Hudson-Odoi was more of a
Yeah,
striker, but in the game, but perhaps I think that having two strikers on the pitch is definitely something we should probably consider. Or not, no, not that I'm saying Tuchel should consider, but something that we can kind of you should get used to, because I don't know. That's kind of why I don't rule out the signing of Erling Haaland, because you could play Timo Werner and Haaland together with Tammy on the bench, and you'd keep all of them relatively happy, at least, and you could play Cho instead.
I think the only thing that I would say on that is I think was it the first game against Wolves when Tammy and Werner both started, and then he took Tammy off, or was it against Burnley?
I think it was Wolves where he started.
Yeah.
Tammy.
So yeah, I think I'm not sure if he knows like he I'm not sure if he'd rather go with two or one strikers, but I think Tuchel's very I don't know how to word this, but he's very confident on the formation that he uses, and I don't see him going and switching into two striker kind of role unless we've got our wingers injured. But because we have so much, I think if we do play a two striker role, the only thing that I see changing is we might have to play with Kai Havertz, because then those two strikers would constantly be getting balls from the center rather than crossing it in as we used to do with Lampard, in my opinion. And I think, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's a no option, but I think Haaland is someone we don't really need. If we really have to sign someone, we've got to look at the defense, and we've got to look at other positions such as the wingers, and try and offload a few players from the midfield and defense that we've already got. So, I think honestly, I'm not too concerned about Haaland, even though yes, he's an incredible signing. No disrespect to him, and his skills 100 times better than I can probably kick a football. So, but I just think Chelsea really don't need Haaland, someone like Haaland right now.
Yeah,
I only think. Go on, Amart. Go for it.
no. I know that he's saying that. I know that Mohammed is saying that we don't need Haaland right now. I think we do, but aside from that, I'll prefer him coming to Chelsea than going to a team like Man City, to be honest. Because if we can get him ahead of Man City, I'll be over the moon, because I feel like if he goes to that team, Man City, he would he would worry a lot of defenses in the Premier League. And that one is it just, if he goes to Man City, I'll just be reminded of Aguero. We nearly signed Aguero and we passed on him and signed somebody else, and then he went to um, um, City and became just the best City player ever. And I think with the two strikers, we played two strikers against Spurs. It's the first time that he used two strikers, Callum and Werner. I think Werner was more central, and Callum was playing right just behind him. But we played, instead of the 3-4-2-1 that he usually plays, he played that in the Wolves game and the Burnley game. But this time he went for a 3-4-1-2. So we still played with two strikers. So even with Haaland, the team, like Alex is saying, we can still adopt the two strikers tactics and still use them up top.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think. I mean, I'm not saying no to that. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see Haaland at Chelsea. I'm just saying that we might need to prioritize some other positions than going for Haaland. So I think if we do end up signing someone like Marquinhos, if we do end up selling a few of our other players, and then if the Chelsea board goes, oh, okay, we need to sign Haaland, then I would say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if we go after Haaland and not get a defender and probably not give Silva a year extension, then I will be a bit concerned, because I don't want to see Rudiger, Christensen and Zuma starting, where Zuma's probably going to have to look on his right and left every 5 seconds, knowing that anything can go wrong.
But Silva already has a year's extension, or am I wrong?
Yeah,
he's already been given
it's
a year.
It's an option. Is it optional?
Also, I'd say, like, considering we've just spent 220 million, even in COVID times, I wouldn't be too worried about priority. I don't think they would could go and say, "Oh, we're just going to spend all our money on Haaland." They're going to have multiple things to think about at the same time. And yeah, considering we spent 220 million, yes, a lot of that was because of transfer ban and Hazard money and stuff coming in. but I'm not worried about priority. I think they can do both. I like to think they can do both. They can think about. I mean, we bought Eduard Mendy Silva, and a striker, and a number 10, and a left back, all in the same.
We don't need to fire employees. Arsenal.
Oh, or abandoned local or abandoned local dinosaurs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sums up the Tottenham review.
So
went longer than expected, but I guess you expect that with a game like Tottenham's.
You expect it when you're CFC Talk, if I'm honest. Let's be honest. If there's one thing we're amazing at is overrunning.
Yeah, if you guys look at our timestamps, because what you guys don't see is the timestamps that we put in before on Discord and our chats, just to keep track of what we're going to discuss next. And we always reserve almost 35-40 minutes for a review and 10-15 minutes for a preview. But we I think every episode we've managed to shoot that by at least 10-15 minutes, and we still haven't changed it. So since the first episode, it's the same timestamps on each topic. But we still managed to overrun it. But yes, that's the.
I have a suggestion. Sorry, perhaps we should put our original timestamps in the descriptions of the videos, just as a meme, like to kind of. Oh, that would be funny. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. Sheffield.
No. A 1-0 win away from home. Tuchel, 7 points from 9 games, moves on to Sheffield on a Sunday night. Is that Sunday night? Oh. A game that could probably put Chelsea in a good position before heading over to Barnsley to play in the FA Cup, and then when they come back from there, they'll have 2 games before they hit a hard run of games on the February 23rd. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Sheffield United, Amart, excited? Easy win for Chelsea, or is this still tricky blues time for Chelsea? And actually, there's if I'm not wrong, Sheffield haven't won their last. Okay, let me get this right before I get. Okay, so they've been on a good run of form. I mean, they've won
of winning 3 games.
3 games in the last 5.
Yeah.
Amart, confident, or is this going to be a tough game for Chelsea again?
I can't really say I'm confident because they beat Manchester United at their home, right? So we can still lose to them if we go there and if we play badly at the Bridge. But I don't know. I think it's something. It's a game we have to win, and we have to continue maintaining this win streak that we have and extending it, because like we've said previously, we have to win every game that comes in front of us this season in the Premier League, because we have to catch up. So the teams are losing. They are losing points at the top, and I think City and Liverpool will be playing next in the Premier League. So any of them can lose. Any of them can drop points, and we have to catch up. I'm hoping Liverpool drops points. So if they drop points and we gain some against Sheffield, we can climb the ladder even higher and get into top 4. Try and get into top 4. So I don't want to say I'm confident, but I think we can win this game. We beat them. I think we beat them 4-1 in November or so. Beat them 4-1 in November, and I think we are capable of beating them again. So let's just go. Let's just get this win and get this 3 points. Any game that comes in front of us this season is a big match.
You can tell there's a sense of confidence in your voice, but you don't want to overshoot, and you just don't want to say, this is a win. And come on Sunday night, we're sitting here like, what's just happened?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to jinx it. Because that's happened so many times this season, and I don't want to be overconfident with any game.
Yeah, I mean, again, with Frank Lampard, we've kind of realized that. But hopefully, I mean, again, I just wish we don't go on I wish we go on a good run of wins. But I wish that we also kind of, as Chelsea fans, realised that this happened with Lampard, and he kept saying, we're not ready, and fans weren't ready to accept that we're not ready. But yeah, Alex, your thoughts on Sheffield, and what are your predictions?
The way I see it, if we win, we'll end up on the day either a point behind Liverpool, or 8 points behind top, or somewhere in the middle where if they draw, I guess. So yeah, if we win, and Arsenal playing Aston Villa as well. Everton are playing. Sorry, this is not at all to do with Sheffield, but and also Everton play Man United. So essentially, a lot of teams are playing everyone else around each other this game week, and Sheffield. I mean, yes, they're in not awful form considering they lost the first 16 games in the league. Sorry, lost or drew the first 16 games in the league. We don't have to. We shouldn't take them for granted. I'm not sure if Ampadu will be able to play for them. I would guess not, because I think it was the same with other teams that we've played. Yeah, Barkley. Like when we played Aston Villa, Barkley didn't. So I don't think Ampadu will be able to play, and he's been pretty crucial to them recently. And to be fair, when Sheffield did beat United, United did look pretty awful in defence, at least. So, and I would be really surprised. I mean, touch wood, that we. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't expect us to lose all's defensive solidity that we found over the past 3 games to Sheffield. So, yeah, the important thing is 3 points. Performance-wise, as long as I want Timo Werner to score. That's the main thing, really. Timo needs to score. We need to get 3 points so that we can just continue this run or start a good run. And before you know it, we'll be back in the conversation with Leicester, United, and Liverpool. But first, game at a time. Win the games that we should. Unlike Liverpool, who have an awful record against the bottom 6, weirdly. But yeah, these are the games we really need to win and to get back into the top 4 race.
Yeah, I think the best way to take it, and I think Tuchel said it as well. Just let's take it game by game. Let's not look at the big picture right now. Let's not get our hopes too high. I want to say we can still contest for the title, but let's look at only Sheffield for now.
It's more believable than it was a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah,
what if you actually speak it into existence? Now
we've only got to beat Sheffield, Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, Everton, Leeds, and we're halfway there.
Like, it all depends on if Man City. Like, I know it's crazy to think about, but it all depends on if Man City continue the way they are. Because whenever Man City they lose, they kind of have like a bad patch. They don't really lose one game. They have a bad patch of like
us.
Yeah, not like us, where we just lose or win and lose or win or whatever. Kind of like, actually, to be fair, kind of like us. But kind of like most of the big teams, they've had a bad patch of them, 3 or 4 games, or even 5, where they just lose or draw. Nothing really works for them. So if Man City can have that at some point between now and the end of the season, then you never know. You never know. We could be there to pick up the reins. But until Man City show that, because it seems like City are getting better and better, if I'm honest. Until Man City have that blip, we're not going to be able to get near them, I don't think. Even if we went to where the Etihad and won.
It just sounded like you're making you're making a request to Man City to lose their game so that we benefit from it.
Please. It would be really nice if Mohammed's prediction came true. Please. Yeah.
But United are right behind them. So if Man City loses, the United also have to lose in addition.
Interesting point, actually. Something I forgot to say about. Have you guys seen Man City's fixtures for the next until 8 games or 7 games?
Let me check.
So they play.
Liverpool.
Yes. So Mohammed, your prediction chances just went up. No.
Liverpool, Tottenham, Everton, Arsenal, West Ham, Man United.
Yeah. They play.
Wow.
They play literally like
that's weird.
in their next 5 or 6 Premier League games, they play all top 6 teams or top 8. Sorry, Arsenal top 9 teams. But yeah,
To be fair, if they can win these 4 games, Liverpool,
yeah. To be
Tottenham,
fair,
Everton,
even after that,
Arsenal,
it's
the
West
league is
Ham and
theirs.
then
To
Man
be honest,
United. So and then Wolves and then
Man
Leicester.
United.
So it's like they have a really tricky next 8 to 10 games essentially. So
And what about? I'm just curious. Let's check Man United's own as well because
Man
they are right
United,
Who's
behind them.
Man
they have
United?
Man United have easy. Man
I
United
think
have it
they
easier.
have.
Yeah.
Other than for the next couple of games, they have Everton, West Brom, Newcastle, and then after that they play Chelsea, City, West Ham, and then yeah. So their tricky period is at the end of the month. But before then,
Yeah,
essentially, I think yeah, you never know. So if
yeah.
City, so we kind of want Liverpool to, if we want City to start to crumble a little and lose confidence, I think. Do we want Liverpool to? Sorry, we're completely going way off topic of Sheffield, but it's like I think I'll probably be wanting Liverpool to win that just so they can kind of dislodge City a bit. And yeah, City have such a really hard fixture list for the next 8 games. Yeah, I know it's tricky, and I know I don't want to speak Mohammed's prediction into existence, but it's not the most. It's not the most impossible thing in the world of football to suggest, considering City's extremely hard fixture list over the next 8 games. So, are we thinking Mohammed by the start of when? Oof, should we say end of March? No, no. Should we say by? Do we think top
Not
by
until the
mid
12th of
March?
May. Not until the 12th of May.
Yeah, no, until we're so yeah, 12th of May will be top. You heard it here first.
Oh, was it the 12th of May or is it 23rd
sorry,
when the
sorry,
last
no,
game?
sorry. I actually misread that. I meant 12th of March, not May. I meant
Okay,
yeah.
I mean,
We'll see.
honestly, that's the one thing I love. This is kind of going back, but 6 months of podcasting, we still haven't lost hope, and that's that's incredible.
It is. It's just because of the craziness of the season. Literally
Yeah,
anything can happen. Man United were where we are. Man United were where we were like 3 months ago, and now they're 4 points off City. So why can't we be in the next pretty much 8 to 10 games? Yeah, you never know what will happen, and
yeah,
yeah, it could happen. But that's the important thing is to just take the shit, not get carried away like we just did for the past 5 minutes, and just kind of win the Sheffield game, win all the games in front of us, and then look forward to the Champions League. But
Yeah, we just hope Ole uh, they'll just take the
he
wrong
put
turn
his
backwards
he put it in
and
reverse.
then
He's
just
put his bus in
give us the
reverse
win.
gear, and now
he's just
Yeah,
following Mourinho.
he's jammed the.
I don't I don't I don't even want him to turn in reverse. I want him to turn, make a proper turn, and then move straight forward downwards.
full
That's what I'm
Kindly,
steam,
hoping
full,
for.
full steam, full steam backwards, and then he busts the tire once he's yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we going to do predicted lineups for Sheffield, or do we want to talk more about the podcast? Because appreciate
yeah. Let's move on to the podcast, guys. If you want to check out the
unless you want to do like Sheffield lineups like really quickly, like in the next minute,
Okay, so
like instead of we going
let's do
through,
a yes and no.
or just
Let's do a yes and no.
okay, yeah,
Mendy.
yeah. Kepa. No,
Okay, and
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
yeah.
As P, Rudiger, and Christensen at the back.
Sad to say, but yes, I think it'll happen.
Yeah, that's our only option
Alonso
now,
and
sir.
James as wing backs.
No, if I'm honest, I want Chilwell, but I guess
Yeah.
if we're gonna take advantage of Alonso being good for like in his purple patches and all, then might as well use him. But I'd like to see Chilwell back. But hey, Alonso's in good form, so why not?
Yeah, I also want to see Chohan, but was
Eh,
Alonso that good against
But he
Tottenham?
just
I don't think
the
so.
point
But
is he wasn't really bad. Like, I didn't really
we'll
know
see.
there wasn't any moments where he was really bad defensively and all. So I guess, but that could be due to Tuchel and his
Yeah,
just making us seem really solid at the back. So I want to see Chilwell, but I understand it if Alonso plays.
Yeah.
Then mids, we go.
Yep, sorry.
Um,
Kante and Kovacic.
What I want to see, but I don't think I'll have. I think it'll be Jorginho, Kovacic to keep it, to not change anything, and maybe start Kante against Barnsley or something to get him back into it. But
Okay.
Yeah, same, same. I also wanted to see Kante, but I don't think it will happen as well. So
Okay. And then we're gonna go with Werner up top
yeah,
with Callum Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic, I guess.
Mohamed's dropped Mason Mount. It only took him
Oh,
a day.
yeah, I can't drop him though. Okay. Yeah, I guess the same lineup as
Pretty much, yeah. Same lineup as
Tottenham, but
Spurs.
except Christensen and Silva swapped.
Yeah, I think that's yeah.
yeah, but I think if Havertz is fit, he might play against Sheffield United instead of Mount.
I feel
So
like
Mount to get
maybe
a rest,
Kante
some
and
rest or
Kai
something.
could play against Barnsley to just bring him
Yeah,
back into the team, and of course Kai Havertz loves a bit of
he loves
football against
Barnsley.
Barnsley.
Yeah, so it's like, why not? But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mount does get the rest. Hell, we played Thursday and now we're playing on Sunday, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are more changes and maybe perhaps Chilwell does get put back in. The fact that we've predicted the same lineup, I think this is what we all want to see, the strong lineup. But considering we're playing like 3 days apart, it's pretty unrealistic to think that he's going to play the same team 3 days apart, especially against Spurs. So perhaps there will be changes, but I think we all want to see Timo start. We want to see him get some goals in the Premier League to get back his form. So we want a similar lineup, but I think we might be surprised a little.
Yep, I think that sums up the lineup pretty much. Mendy and goal, Aspie, Rudiger, Christensen in the back three, with James and Alonso as wing backs. Midfield of Jorginho, Kovacic, and Mount. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Werner up top. Probably the same way, the same tactics as Tottenham against Sheffield. That sums up the review. Not much on the review, but if you want a detailed one, we do one on the second channel, which will be linked in the description below, where you can go and check that out, which usually comes out 24 hours before a game day. So by the time you're watching this, that should be out as well, for you to watch with Amaya, who is our presenter on that channel. But yeah, 6 months of the podcast, just a bit look back. We've almost hit 50 episodes, depending on what platform you're watching on again. I need to fix the numbering, Alex. Every time you remind me, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it today, and then I just forget.
We don't need to fix it. We make our own numbering system. We skip numbers. The number 40. I think it's 43. We don't really understand it at CFCTALK, so we just choose to skip it. It's simple.
We're just using Chelsea numbers. We're just using the squad numbers. But no, I think stats wise, I had it written down. Okay, yeah, so 100 subs on the main channel, 67, 68 subs on the second channel, 400 plus followers on social media, a website which is fully functional with daily articles, 15 team members, all the way from social media managers, editors, graphic designers, writers, podcast hosts, and partnerships. We've got so many partnerships now as well, guys. 6 months. Firstly, I'm just going to get a bit nostalgic here and say thank you for actually accepting this offer. I mean, 6 months ago we had nothing. We were at zero. I think we all met on a server, and we've gone from probably never having a conversation to almost having a conversation every single day or every other day. And in my words, and if you remember, if someone watched the podcast a few weeks back, I said we've done 2,000 hours of hosting, but I think that's wrong. It's 2,500 minutes of hosting. Alex, you were going to say something?
No, I wasn't going to say it. I was about to react to the hours thing, but then you do it yourself. So never mind. It's crazy though. Even that as a minutes thing is pretty ridiculous. I wonder how if someone did the maths quickly. The calculator somewhere lying around here. But how many hours 2,500 minutes is?
Okay, so I've just done that, and that is about 43 hours, 42 hours. Sorry.
Yeah. So imagine doing a podcasting for 24 hours a day for 2 days, and that's pretty much it's almost what we've done. It's pretty. It's a lot. It is. Yeah. It's only going to get more. And yeah, it is just we've come such a long way since the very start, and I didn't think the main. Yeah, I don't know what to say really. Other than it's a nice moment. It doesn't feel like 6 months. I think lockdown didn't help with that, but it doesn't feel like 6 months, but it feels like 46 episodes. I feel like we've done a lot of episodes, but not in the time that we have, and with importantly, the consistency. Like it's 49 episodes in 6 months is like around an episode every 4 days, I think, unless I've messed up them. I think that's right. If it's if 6 months is 180 days, and then divide that. Sorry, viewers, for my. I like to explain my thought process, but yeah, it's around it's around an episode every 4 days, 3.5 days. So it's pretty ridiculous, really, and it's really a testament to Mohammed, the host that we have, and the amazing editors, graphic designers, everyone who works for CFC Talk, working together to. It's quite crazy for a team for something that's still quite in its infancy, really. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Amart, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Amart he's been quite silent listening to Alex's calculations. He's been numbing it down. He's like, yeah.
no, like I just want to make a clarification to the listeners that clearly the maths geeks are Mohammed and Alex. I suck at maths. I suck at maths. So anytime you guys go into anything regarding maths and numbers, I just keep quiet and listen to you, the two of you, because
So
I'm not really good at
any
maths.
stats for tomorrow, any stats
Yeah.
Amart mentions from the next episode, he's either taking it from Alex or he's taking it from me.
I mean the calculations and stuff like that is not really my forte. So when you guys are doing that, I just sit down and just listen to you guys. But yeah, it's really really amazing. I think the first time Alex told me that we'll be hitting 6 months soon, I was very very surprised because it just feels like we've been doing this like 3 months or 2 months ago because it's gone really really quickly. And I think I think I told Mohammed too as well that it's because we enjoy what you're doing, and it's the truth. I really, really enjoy doing it. I look forward to talking to the two of you every time after a game. It's even therapeutic for us. Instead of taking the loss to sleep, we come here and we come and talk about it, and we grieve together and we celebrate together too at the same time. So I think it's really really good. And anybody that knows me knows that, like, at least if I strike a conversation with somebody, there'll be like at least 20 or 30% of that conversation will be regarding Chelsea, especially if I'm talking to somebody who also likes football. So this is actually the best place for me to talk about Chelsea, and I'm very very grateful for the opportunity. And also I want to thank the guests that have been on so far. Ameya, now he's also one of part of the team, which is fantastic. Maria, um, Carl, what's his name? Kamal, Dami, Jam, Zoba, Candy, like all these people that have come on and
Michelle.
yes, Nichelle
Michelle,
recently, yeah, all these people that have come on, they've accepted our invitations and come on. Like, thank you to all of you guys. Like, you guys are legends, and I know I've been disturbing you guys in the DMs, but thank you as well for entertaining me and listening to me and replying to my messages. I know some are still yet to come on, and we will definitely welcome you with open arms, and we look forward to listening to talking to you guys. So I mean, there's more to come, so I'm just looking forward to it.
Yep, yeah. It's honestly been a great experience. I think it's I'm kind of getting teary up. No, it's been incredible. Just with you guys, but everyone who's been on the podcast as a guest, everyone who's worked on the podcast, everyone Matthew, Amaya, Tarun, David, Rami, everyone, writers, Kush, and everyone. I want to mention everyone on this podcast, and if you guys want to follow everyone, links will be in the description below. Cal, who does the editing, Charlie, who does the graphic designing, and everyone's been incredible. I think the beauty of this podcast, and the one thing that I'm still surprised about, is how we're all in our home countries, around the world, and someone's in Australia, someone's in the US, someone's in UK, India, and yet we're combined, and we work together on a daily basis and interact with each other, not just on the screen, but behind the scenes, talking to each other, cracking jokes, and just having a laugh, most of the times. But yeah, I think it's been a great experience, and just to end it, I would like to say, since we've started, we've changed goalkeepers, we've changed managers, we've changed opinions on players, but we haven't changed hosts, and we won't be changing anytime soon.
Alex is sacked. Breaking news: Alex Faulkner has been sacked from CFC Talk on the 6th of February. No, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'm definitely not going to be going anywhere anytime soon, and I pray that it's the same for both of you, because I don't think it's really hard to, after doing this for 6 months with you both, I really can't imagine doing it with any other person. Yeah,
we went from stopping each other every 5 seconds to now just bouncing off each other, knowing when the other person's going to say something.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a great chemistry we have, and it's only gonna. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like. When we're recording the year anniversary, or the fifth. Sorry, hell, even 100th episode, or even more than that. Who knows? But it's a really it's fun. It's been fun times already, and it's gonna be nothing but fun times in the future. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, guys, I think that's all for tonight's episode. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for all the support in the last 6 months. It's been incredible. We'll continue to create content, and we'll provide you with daily uploads on both of our channels. Make sure to follow all of our social media pages. Join the Discord link, and make sure to follow all of our socials. I feel like I've said that. I'm kind of zoned out right now. But yeah, we'll see you hopefully after the Sheffield game in a happy mood, when we discuss Sheffield and then Barnsley on the week, on my weekend, actually, because Thursday is when my weekend starts. So that's all from us here tonight. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next time.